Hi there, this is Samsara Morgan, Executive Director of Oakland Better Birth Foundation, NIA Healing Center for Birth and Family Life, and the Better Birth Association of Harlem. I want to talk to you today, give you a bit of an expanded history lesson on doulas and who they are and what they do and how they came to be. I've done What is a Doula Talks before, and I realized that I was actually in a teleconference yesterday, talking about this, and realized that I had been remiss in leaving out some very important information about my profession. So I wanted to make a new and expanded video that would include the vital information that I had been previously neglecting. So what I want to say about all that is that doulas have been in existence as long as there have been midwives. We are a sister profession to the midwifery profession and have worked side by side since the beginning of time, since the very first human female gave birth to the very first little human. And, there are different beautiful signs and stories about that. But let's take us back to human beings as hunter-gatherer societies and tribal societies, and such societies still exist on our planet today, wherein when a pregnant person is giving birth, generally it is the females in that community that will go off with that birthing person to assist in the birth. The midwife is the person who has the job and sacred responsibility of assisting the baby from its mother's person. And the other community members, generally women, are the ones who are there in prayer. They're preparing the food. They have set the environment. They are assisting the midwives. And for all intents and purposes, we can just say that all the other women in that community are the ones assisting, helping, supporting the birth. And in fact, they are being doulas. They are doing what doulas do. In this country, so this is long before the first Greek said the word doula. Just want to point that out. In this country, doulas have evolved into the span that we are now because there was tremendous obstetrical abuse going on of American women and women worldwide, but specifically in this particular country, let's just stick to America today, United States of America. Babies were being born in twilight sleep. And what that is that the mom is knocked out completely cold with medication. She's given general anesthetic. She's laid out on a gurney, unconscious. And generally, most of the babies were dragged out of their mother's bodies with forceps. A very unpleasant experience. Mother had to be tied down to the gurney. Mothers could potentially get up and walk around unconscious, and of course that's a tremendous health hazard. So the mothers were tied to the gurney with cotton restraints. There was no talk of a father being in the room or a partner being present. And we've all seen the movies where the dads are all waiting down in the hospital waiting room because their wives are upstairs unconscious. Their babies are being dragged out of their partner's bodies, and they're waiting until she revives from the anesthetic, which takes hours, so that he can go see her and go to the hospital nursery where all the babies are behind the windows screaming and crying in pain because they miss their mother's bodies and they want to be connected with her and they want to breastfeed. And everyone's staring through the windows at the babies as they're screaming and crying in pain for their mother. And everyone's smiling and saying how cute they are. That's how we lived. That's how I was born. There were some women who began to push back on that. And there were some women who reported very, very uncomfortable abuse. Women were talking about how they felt that they had been molested as they lay unconscious on hospital gurneys in recovery after they'd had their babies. And there was a big push to have husbands present in the delivery room. so that the birthing person wouldn't be by herself. It took a long time. It took a lot of pushback. It took a lot of organizing on the part of the consumer, of the public, for hospitals to acquiesce and at first allow the father to be present at the birth of his child. This was a wonderful thing, and we give thanks for the presence of fathers and partners in the room during birth. But then what started to happen was some unprofessional medical folk would manipulate the fear that the average father had when his partner was giving birth. Generally speaking, men in our culture are not exposed to birth. And so even taking a childbirth ed class, the default for the partner is the safety of his partner. So if the medical person says, well, this, you don't want your wife to die, you don't want your baby to die, the heart, the beautiful heart of the father or partner can be exploited, and the father can then find himself allying with the medical people against the wishes of his partner. So that didn't work. So what started to happen was that women started asking their friends to go with them, somebody who could be neutral, someone who maybe had children of their own and had natural births of their own, to go with them into the hospital and help to be an ally, an advocate, a support person, actually help them. Just laying in a hospital bed in labor is not going to help you to have an empowered birth. It's very important to have somebody, hopefully someone who's done this. And nowadays we have people who were trained to support folks through childbirth. How to move your body, what is helpful, when to get in the shower, when to, can you eat, can you drink? There are a million questions around how to have an unmedicated birth. If you're lying if you're on an epidural, there needs to help you to have an epidural in a healthy way that will allow you to avoid potentially having a C-section. How to work with that medical cascade phenomenon in such a way so that you don't end up with a C-section, if at all possible. But for sure, if you're alive in your body and you're going through labor, back when we were hunter-gatherers, a family group of people, a tribe of people, was like 60 people. And let's assume that a little more than half of those people were females. All of those females went with the birthing woman out to the birthing place of those people to assist in the coming of a new community member. That's how big the energy is, and that's how much support is needed. Okay, it's even more than just one doula. That's why I do hope when this COVID-19 scare is over that families are allowed to come back and approximate as much as possible that sense of tribal support and deep love that's necessary to help bring human beings into the world. Right now, though, I'm saying as well, during this crisis, that we need to have doulas back in the room. And it should not have to be a choice between the partner and the doula. This is unacceptable, and it makes it very unlikely that the folks who want to have an unmedicated birth will be able to do so and manage that big birth energy without a person in the room who understands that big birth energy, that is not afraid of it, that does not see it as a medical condition that needs treatment, but sees it as a natural condition of a big human consciousness coming into this world, and knowing that it just needs time, support, care, respect, maybe that nice big jacuzzi tub that some of the hospitals have, definitely food, definitely drink, walking, praying, chanting, dancing, all of those things that have traditionally brought human consciousness to birth. I ask you to maybe share this video with your medical provider. I ask you, the public, to please talk to your hospital administrators. Doulas are historically part of the birth team if human beings are giving birth. I had a moment there, so thank you for working with me through it. These have been very emotional times for me as a birth worker. But the focus that I'd like to maintain is that we, in order to help get through this very difficult time, it is very important that we do what's called to do to keep ourselves as safe as we can with COVID-19. And while we do that, we need not drop the ball. We should not go backwards in time with regard to the care for pregnant and birthing human beings. It is well documented the value and life-saving skills that doulas bring to the birth room. And so this is a request from me to the birthing public, to the not birthing public, to reach out to hospital administrators and remind them of this history, and to request most respectfully that they rethink this policy and allow doulas who feel available to work at this time to do their work. Please feel free to reach out to me if you are pregnant and person and you are needing some support around doula care. We are definitely changing up how we do our work. It is still a very, very valid and positive thing to have a doula at your side, even if it is virtually at this time. Speak to me personally about how my particular practice is supporting clients. Don't give up on your vision for an empowered, unmedicated birth. I'm here to support you in any way that I can. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Let me know if you like this video. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Please keep your comments positive and life-affirming. Hit the little notification bell and you will be notified whenever a new video is produced. Thank you for being with us at this time. Peace and blessings on your family and abundant good health during these troubling times. Again, I'm Samsara Morgan and I wish you all the best.